Holy Family, the story of our New Jerusalem. This is the story of resilience, true devotion and commitment to God and the service of men. For nearly 45 years since that first community service was held on 28th August 1977, this was birthed through the yearning of fervent Catholics, populated by those who had moved into the luxurious flats in the newly created festival town. The estate, which was built for the purpose of the second all-black festival of arts and culture, Festac, brought about the need for a worshiping place by Catholics who had recently moved in. The remodeling project of the Holy Family Catholic Church was initiated because of the need to increase the seating capacity of the church to accommodate more worshippers. The population of parishioners increased over time, thereby creating a need for an expansion with the inclusion of large canopies constructed with aluminum roof sheets around the church to accommodate more people, especially those outside who could not see the happenings inside the church. This ultimately led to a remodeling of the entire building to a larger auditorium with a 3,500 internal capacity, in line with current architectural designs. The initial ideas came during the leadership of Reverend Father Anthony Obadino, CMF, but the main project implementation started during the administration of Reverend Father Simeon Irabo as parish priest in 2015.
The thought of having a bigger church was there even before my arrival. I was only an instrument to actualize this great dream.
The church auditorium remodeling was officially contracted on 24th June 2015, while the official approval by the Chancery was given on 3rd September 2015.
The project started pretty well. In fact, it's quite encouraging to say that we did all the necessary things. Due diligence, the contractors were screened, and eventually we got one that was even from the expatriate dimension, thinking that we have a very precise and very beautiful edifice of worship.
The contractor mobilized, and after salvaging furniture and other useful items, the demolition of the primary areas commenced on 12th November 2015, with proper safety measures put in place to forestall hazards. The church auditorium was faced with different challenges, which saw transition from one contractor to another. These challenges were largely as a result of the contractor's compromise on the original comprehensive strength of the structural elements. In simple terms, the columns did not meet the designed strength as specified by the structural designer. Upon discovery by the church, the building project was halted.
But we got to a point where perhaps the devil in the window appeared, the printer's devil, if you like, in the printing world. But that did not in any way disturb the fact that the project, when stopped, will look quite embarrassing. What's life first? And we took the bold step that this cannot continue because of the shady jobs that were being carried out. And we were not ready to compromise. It is always the best or nothing. Opt optimum, ot nihil, either the best or nothing. And that was very instrumental to taking this decision. Painful as it may be, but for the good of everyone and for posterity's sake.
When they were going to give us a substandard project, and we said no. And I thank Father Irabo for insisting on that. And the whole committee took it up. We visited them. It wasn't a pleasant experience.
When the parish must have spent more than 400 million naira on the project, it was discovered that the church building was highly substandard.
Fortunately or unfortunately, the contractor that came in between started well, but along the line we discovered that the integrity test of the project was zero. In fact, it was 98% poor by the Society of Engineers.
The church were disappointed. He might more than 400 million naira as at 5 years ago going under the drain.
And in a bid to rectify all anomaly, the parish sought legal reprieve by dragging the contractor to the arbitration panel.
The church said, no, you can't continue, and decided to terminate the contract. Then the next thing was to go to court.
This step became necessary after the parish had received various reports from the Council of Registered Engineers of Nigeria, (COREN), and the Nigeria Society of Engineers, (NSE), among other professional bodies. Their verdict: the building had been compromised as the strengths of the columns had been tampered with. Hence, further construction had to be discontinued. The then parish priest, Reverend Father Simeon Irabo, notified parishioners of the situation. While the case was in arbitration, the site was seized by the contractor, and for more than 2 years, there was no activity on the site.
The contractors held onto the site and said it was their own and we were going to still pay more for doing a very bad job.
On the recommendations of the Archdiocesan Building Committee, another contractor was hired.
When the former parish priest realized that something was wrong, the members of the building committee from the Archdiocese, brought other contractors, and another contractor came in, and they signed an agreement with that contractor.
Still, at this time, the initial contractor remained adamant they would not release the site for further construction, stating that the case was still in court.
The second contractor insisted, because there was actually a signed contract, but the site was not released, and by the special grace of God, we used the legal mechanism to say, look, we can't hand over the site to you because the site is still, as at the time of signing the contract, was still with the former contractor. So there was nothing actually to take over, and that was our argument. So we were able to stop that contractor from taking over the site or from continuing in the site because we envisaged that the same problem we had in the first contractor may still be, in fact, worse one may even come onto us with the second contractor. So luckily, God assisted us. We were able to get them to agree. We went to the tribunal or panel, or what you may call arbitration panel. But God saw us through, and we got award. We got judgments against them, close to that 400 million naira. But today, they have not paid. We are still in court to enforce it on the company.
There was a change of baton in the parish. Father Irabo was transferred, and in came Reverend Father Melvis Onaivi Mayaki in November 2018.
I sincerely had no idea of the extent of the issues that were on ground about the church building. So I just came to Holy Family with an open mind. When I came, I saw that there was a huge project on ground, and then I just offered the matter to God, and just as usual, I promised to do my best in the circumstances, and then God has been faithful. I can always be grateful to God.
When the new parish priest, a very wonderful man, a great leader of men, Father Mayaki, came in, there was that challenge of where do we start? There were some legal challenges. Do we start from where?
The ongoing project had been facing some challenges, so it was the first thing to try to handle the problems on ground. And it took us about a year to settle the court issues and agree for arbitration. Then it took us another 8 months to get approval from Lagos State. That was a seriously difficult part of it.
After having been briefed of the situation, he swung into action. In January 2019, he initiated a 14-day foundational prayer to begin the year. Immediately after the prayers, he assembled a consortium of professionals ranging from architects, lawyers to builders, construction engineers, project management experts, and so many more, to revisit the remodeling project design and begin work on the site.
Special thanks goes to the Holy Spirit who was leading the battle, for us. So the parish now decided to do what you may call self-help project, getting some of their experts in the area, and work started.
Yes, when we started building again, it happened at such a bad time with the economy, shortfall of funds and everything. It was just generally tough for everybody, but again, we thank God for seeing us through.
The construction recommenced by first clearing out completely all existing works and constructing a huge raft foundation with massively reinforced concrete beams, the substructural works with the German floor works. The superstructural phase commenced with columns spanning clear distances and gallery construction up to roof beams and installation of steel roof trusses. At the end of the building framework and partition walls construction, the walls surface dressing and screeding works with POP and installation of fittings and controls followed. This was then accompanied by painting and decoration with furnishing. The current remodeled church auditorium is an impressive architectural masterpiece designed with an increased width of about 39 meters and a clear column span from the center aisle and other wings to avoid obstructing the altar during Mass. With this design, all areas such as the sacristy, the sanctuary, and the main auditorium experienced expansion, resulting to the attainment of an internal sitting capacity of about 3,500 worshippers per Mass. Today, Holy Family Catholic Church has become a worshiping haven for thousands of God's children from across Nigeria and beyond, brought together by faith and love in an ambience of true worship and service to God and His people, an attribute that best describes a parish of distinction. The completion of this impressive architectural masterpiece can only be attributed to God. Special mention must be made of the heroic role played by both the former parish priest, Reverend Father Simeon Irabo, and the current parish priest, who also doubles as the Dean of Festac Deanery, Very Reverend Father Melvis Mayaki. All parishioners of Holy Family Catholic Church, 22 Road, Festac Town, deserve high accolades for their benevolence and generosity. Indeed, this is a story of resilience, an expression of deep commitment and devotion to God and the service of men. It has been a long journey, one of great trials, challenges, disappointments, and waits. But today, we celebrate our entrance into our new Jerusalem with loud celebrations and jubilation. The rededication of the very iconic New Jerusalem is holding today, Saturday 29th April 2023, by the Archbishop of the Catholic Archdiocese of Lagos, Most Reverend Dr. Alfred Adewale Martins, nearly 8 years since the old parish building was pulled down, and 38 years since the first church building was dedicated on 28th April 1985. To God be the glory.